So, I just finished Gurren Lagann, like, seconds ago, right? Like, I turned on the camera the second I finished this, the show. And I'm not, there's times, I don't know why, right? It takes a lot to get me to cry, right? And what I mean by that is there's times where I feel like I want to cry, but I physically can't get it out. Now is one of those times. Oh my god. Oh, that was such an amazing show. Oh my god, that was so good. That was so good. Like, I want to cry right now, but it's just, like, there's just, I don't know. Like, I can't. That is well deserving on my anime list of second place. It's really fucking good. It's really good, and this is gonna be a bad opinion, but I think Cyberpunk Edgerunners is better than it. You are not going to agree with that. I know you're not going to agree with that, and I understand why you would not agree with that. But that's my personal take. Cyberpunk Edgerunners is a fucking masterpiece. Just every fine-tuned atom that you can possibly put into a media was... That's just Cyberpunk Edgerunners. It's perfect. It's perfect. It is a perfect show to me. But Gurren Lagann is fucking amazing. A couple things I liked about the show. The character development is really good. Like, just the way the characters act over time, it's just done insanely well. One example of this I found out, or that I guess I noticed, was... This is going to contain spoilers, by the way. Rattenborough, I doubt you remember. If you watch the show, right, you probably don't even remember who that is. He's the guy with the big lips who's constantly firing the missiles, right? That guy. And it's such a simple form of progression, of character development. But it's so noticed. Like, it's a little, right? So pretty much over time, right, he starts off, and he's just slamming the fucking fire button, right? Because, that's, like, literally all he does in the show. But over time, he gets more, I guess, strategic with how he... Like, he's still just firing all the missiles at one time, but he's, I guess, not as panicked when he does it. Like, Alright, the first time he did it, he was like, oh shit, like he was panicking, right? And he just punched the fucking button, right? And then as time goes on, in the show at least, he slowly begins to, I guess, use them at more, like, fire all the missiles at more strategic times. And at the end of the show, he has gotten so far that he switches missile types, right? It's just very simple progression. Or, development. Very simple, but it works. And that's just one example, right? And the reason I gave that as the example is because it's so hard to explain character development in, I guess, the characters in the show, right? Because there's like a billion of them, and, all of them develop differently. But that was just a very simple example, right? And it goes to show how the showmakers... Yeah, they cared about this, right? The people who made, you can just tell the people who made this show cared about this fucking show. And a couple other things I liked. The characters are amazing, like, really good. Like, at first, I think it's intentional, right? At first, I kind of didn't really care for any of the characters, besides Kamina, right? Kamina is... I love Kamina. Right. Besides him, I didn't even really care for anybody else. Not even Simon. And this video contains spoilers. If you don't want to be spoiled, pause here. Go leave. Go watch another one of my videos. Right? When Kamina died, I think the reason. Alright. Again, I'm pretty sure the writers of the show intended this. Kamina was like the front of the show, right? It wasn't even Simon, although Simon was still like, I guess the main character. Kamina was he was just, I think he was the one you were intended to look at and be like, that dude's fucking awesome, that dude's cool, right? And then after he died, I think, because the show obviously focused in on the other characters more, I think what that was supposed to do, and did, was represent, I guess, like, grief. If that makes sense. Like, alright, because I guess not represent grief, but just to cause you grief watching the show. Because if he was just another character, right? If he was like Yoko or Catan, right? We would be like, oh no, right? Maybe get a little sad, but we wouldn't get sad. Like, as sad. But the way I think, in my opinion, he has... He has one of the best deaths in anime, right? Just the best written death. And the thing I'm debating is whether it's better than David's. Because David's is like masterfully written, right? Again, Cyberpunk Edgerunners is a masterpiece. I think Cyberpunk Edgerunners is legitimately my favorite piece of media just ever produced. It's fucking amazing. Right? I know that's probably an L take to you, but it's my opinion. But honestly, I don't think they're two very different deaths. I don't think they're comparable. I really don't think they are. But still, like, just, God, the way they did Kamina's death and the way it affects the rest of the show is just, oh my God, it was so fucking good. It was so good. And the ending, oh my God, the ending's so... Alright. Another thing. Alright, two other things I just remembered that I liked about this show, right? Because I've been keeping, like, mental notes of things I like about the show. Lord Genome's redemption arc, amazing. Really good. Even though he's not, like, I guess a main character. He's not even, like, a side character, right? You see him, like, every... that's a lie. He starts off as the villain, obviously, and then I guess he turns into a side character, right? But just the way he redeems himself and, like, just... his entire character is amazing. So good. And he's so fucking cool, too. Lord Genome is awesome. And... another thing I liked was... Catan's character development. Because he starts off, like, super cocky and arrogant. Right? But then as the show progresses and, the time skip and he grows up and everything, he becomes more... just more matured, right? Just in general. And it's like, and just the way he dies is so cool too. And it's just, oh my God. I think every character in this game, why did I say game? Every character in that anime is perfectly written. Perfectly written. There was not one character in that show that I can think of that is poorly written. Not one. Really not one. They're amazing. And oh my God, I think this was my favorite part of the show. The fucking part where it's I think it's either the ending or the episode before the ending, where they're all like trapped in like alternate universes and shit. And they're all like, I guess alternate Kaminas, right? Are just talking to him and they like it's a hard to explain scene because honestly I'm not even really sure what happened. It was confusing, but pretty much the gist of it is the anti-spiral. Why am I explaining it? If you watched this far, then you've obviously already watched the show, right? Like this is intended for people who have already watched Gurren Lagann. Yeah, pretty much when everyone gets sent to like the alternate universe thing by the anti-spiral, and then they all come back, but they all meet like different Kamenas and stuff. Or some of them do actually, not all of them, but still, like when Simon met him and Yoko met him, oh my god. I think those are my two favorite scenes in the show. Like those were fucking, oh my god. Like it's like, because there's such emotional scenes, because you're meant to like, you know, miss Kamina at this point. And just when you see him, it's just, it's so cool. So cool. Everyone else in the show, they don't see, like, when they get sent through universes, they just come back, I think. I forget what causes them to come back. I think it's just, like, their soul. But, I don't know. It's weird. And, yeah, dude, it's just... And the post-credit scene of the final episode, like, that's what made me want to cry. If it just left off, or, like right before the credits cut, or, you know, when the credits started rolling, that would have been good. But just that extra little bit of, like, you know, the, like, I guess the spaceship's going off and Simon on the beach with that, like, kid with the drill, and he's trying to drill into the coconut, but he can't. And he's just telling him how to do it, and it's just, I wanted to cry. I wanted to cry. Like, the only thing that I don't like about this show is that it ended. That's the one thing I don't like about this show, that it ended. This is, Gurren Lagann is an amazing, genuinely a fucking masterpiece. It is a masterpiece. It is up there with Edge Runners. Is it as good? No. Is it close? Kinda. But it's tough competition. And it's both of them are just masterpieces, right? Both of them. And you, the viewer, you're gonna be like, Bmack, why are you sucking off Edge Runners so much? I'm not. That's not how I'm intending it to come out. Even though I know that's how it sounds. It's more of, like, it's just the go-to show that I'm comparing it to, because it's the closest show that I have in terms of just how good it is. But yeah, dude, like, it's, alright, on the Bmack scale, in terms of how much I enjoyed it, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Easy. Easy. On the scale of other anime I've watched, the best being, of course, Edge Runners, and the worst being probably Danganronpa. I fucking regret watching it. God, the community for that show is terrible. It's literally a bunch of just fucking children. Never again. And the show was okay. It was okay at the fucking maximum, but nothing else. Between those two, I put it at a 9 point... Nine. Just 9. 9.0. I think that's where I would put it between those two. It is truly an amazing show. Truly. Like, just because it's not, you know, like... Like, listen. Anything above, I want, like, 8.0 on... I don't know if the camera heard that. I hope it didn't. If it did, I'm sorry. Or not the camera, the microphone. But for me, anything 8.5 and above, on terms of, like, you know, just best anime, worst anime, anything 8.5 and above is a fucking masterpiece. Right? Lagann is definitely a masterpiece. The only show I think I've ever been this, I guess, this emotionally attached to, of course, besides Edge Runners, is maybe Hunter x Hunter, but I would equate that more to there just being more episodes than better writing. Hunter x Hunter is a great show, but honestly, I don't think the writing is amazing. It's this is the thing with shorter shows, right? Like, Gurren Lagann, Edge Runners, that you can just flesh out the character development more. Or not more, right? Obviously, in a longer show, you're gonna have more character development, but it's so minuscule that even the viewer won't notice it over time. And it's like, of course, that's how, real life people develop, right? You don't really notice when people fucking change unless they had like a traumatic event in their life or something. But for the most part, actual people develop, very slowly over time. And it's not really just like something happens and it's just, development instantly there, right now, right? So I would say longer shows are more realistic in that sense of character development, but shorter shows are just able to express it more, if that makes sense. Like, they're able to show it to you, the viewer, better. I've been holding in shit this entire video, by the way. I'll be right back. Just give me a second. I'm back. If I remember correctly, where we left off was how characters develop in long shows versus short set shows. Yeah, and I pretty much said it all. And, like, I don't know, Gurren Lagann just does an amazing job of just, like, it fleshes out the character development so well, but it's not forced. Like, it's so natural. I know some shows with their character development, it's like, I guess it can feel like the characters are developing too much in, like, too little time. And for not good enough of a reason, it just feels unnatural. Gurren Lagann just has the most organic, like I feel like I'm watching people, right? Because show characters, right, you know, they feel like show characters. Gurren Lagann truly feels like I'm just watching, like I'm peeking into a different world. It doesn't feel like I'm watching a TV show. Or, I guess, an anime. There is nothing wrong with the world or with the anime, as like there's nothing I can really say that's bad about it. Only thing, really, I think one. And it's so minuscule that it's like, who gives a shit? Simon's redesign after the time skip, I wish he kept the goggles. That's it. That's my only complaint. I think he would looked really cool if he just kept the fucking goggles. And of course he had them on in, like, you know, the battle scenes he had them on. But I wish he just had, like, they were just such a staple part of his character. I wish he kept them. But so, and I think just Simon's time skip redesign overall, he just looks so generic. Like, he just looks like an anime character. But to be fair, I don't really know what they could have done to, like, change that. Like, he just doesn't have, like, he just looks like a generic anime character. I guess, like, it's such a, like, non-issue. It's just a little nitpick. One thing I really liked, Viral. Viral's entire writing, his character is fucking amazing. It's not, like, amazing, like, oh my god, they did so good. It's just neat, right? Because, you know, obviously he started off as an enemy, but just, I don't know, just the way he ties into his story, because I knew at some point he was going to become, like, I guess an ally, and the reason I knew this is because, just over, I guess, the beginning fights of the show, it's two reasons, actually. It's A, he had honor, right? When he fought, he had honor. All of the people, like, commanding him to fight had no honor. They were just like, no, fight him now, right? And he was actively defying them to, you know, keep his honor in the fight. So that's a W on Viral. And the second one is, after 3 or 4 battles, when he was just very conveniently the only remaining survivor, I was like, maybe, just maybe, this dude is, you know, an important part of the show, and he is. He's a really cool fucking character. But I don't want to ramble any longer. I don't want to draw this out any longer than it has to be. Gurren Lagann is a fucking masterpiece, and you should watch it. Like, now. Like, close this video, go on Netflix, go pirate it. I don't care where you go. Go watch it now. Because, yeah, I don't know, just go watch it. I'm probably gonna hold another anime vote to see which one I should watch next, but it's not gonna be anytime soon. It's gonna be like 2 weeks, a month, somewhere between there. That's about it. Yeah, just, so yeah, that was Gurren Lagann. Yeah, go watch it now.